more roommate stuff. More Dick Dan Brady stuff. You know, I went out and I did lunch, past what I was scheduled. You know, I made $25. So it died down. You know, there's ebb and flow. There's breakfast rush, if there is any, then it dies down for a couple hours, lunch, you know. I stopped at home to get myself something to eat. Because I don't have a cooler or anything to keep my food with me. I was there 10, 15 minutes, you know, I heated up my food. I'm sitting there eating. Dan comes out of my room. And it just sneaky, very sneaky, looks at me, and then he pretends like he's looking in the fridge, talking to my son Mark. And then he says a comment like, oh, why aren't you all working? Starting up trouble. Well, he's on the phone with my son Mark. And I says, I stopped home to eat lunch. He says, that's an excuse. He always does. My son Mark's on the phone. And my son Mark is telling him to ask me something. And I got mad. I says, Mark, you call me. Don't you tell Big Dan any of my business. You talk to me. Don't talk to Dan, because he's nothing but a troublemaker. You call me, you know. Yeah. So, Dan had this smirk on his face. So you're comfortable and you're going to go and cause trouble again? That's a narcissist. He is conniving, he's sneaky, he is two-faced, because you know what? I'm going to tell Mark, I'm going to get on our recording first, so I have my proof. But, you know, Dan's always talking about, you know, I have these rights and these rights, you know, and I can sue Mark. But I'm going to catch him saying it. So I have it on a recording. I'm going to tell Mark, look, man, you know, I'm paying my bills, but you want to listen to this guy, you need to watch your back with him because he's sneaky. And he needs to go. But it's totally up to you. Me, I'm not going nowhere until I make enough money where I can find me a nicer place where the cupboard's shut and I have air conditioning throughout the place, and by myself with no BS, no aggravation. Yeah, this guy is, whoo, I tell you. But, you know, I prayed. I think I did anyway. So, Lord, you know my needs. Do I handle this? Don't want to handle this on my own. I want to leave this in your hands, God. I leave this at your feet. This problem I am having with my roommates. You work your will on it. Because I can't. If I try to do something on my own, it's going to backfire on me. So I'm giving it to God. Just giving it to God. So I'm back out here working now. It's 3:30. Unless I didn't turn that on yet. I see, I got all, it gets me riled up and distracted and like, you know, it's Satan. It's a spiritual warfare. And it's Satan. That's what it is. So, I will be good. I will be back on track. I tried to tell my son Mark last night, like, dude, you know, oh yeah, so, here, another thing Dan told Mark. Yeah, she only went out and worked 2 hours last night. Didn't bring up the fact that I went and gave blood and made money from that. sure to tell my son that I only worked 2 hours yesterday. You see what a narcissistic troublemaker he is? You see that? My boys don't. Well, Matt does. Matt sees it because Matt has lived with it before. You know, and like Matt texted me last night. You know, like, oh, it's okay if he didn't text me this last night. I'm just saying, oh, when Dad needs beer, he depends on me to get it because he won't get his car up and running. Yeah. He's going to have to get his license, get his car running, and get his life together and get the heck out of here. Or I'll move to a better place. I will increase my income and buy my own place. Yeah, he's trying to get me kicked out of there bad. He even made a comment last night. I could afford to pay for this whole place on my own. I can pay Mark the $1,400 a month rent and, you know, all the utilities. So he is trying to get me out of there. And man, my son Mark is not seeing the manipulation that Dan is doing. Look, Dan has no relationship with his mother. He's got issues. And I've even told him a couple of times, look, I'm not your mom, so don't you treat me the way you would treat your mother. So you better knock it off and knock off the disrespect right now. I mean, he's always calling me stupid and everything. He's very verbally abusive. I'm strong-minded. I know I'm not stupid, but he is just pure evil. But to meet him, unless you have the Lord in you and He words you with your spirit, you wouldn't know. Yeah. And I lived with him back before, like, I don't know, I think 7, 8 years ago, in Orient with my son now. He tried to pull this stunt, and he was leaving the dirty dishes, and I was cleaning up after everybody in the house. There was Matt, there was that one girl he was with, I won't mention her name, me, Brittany, and Dan. And Dad would intentionally make dirty dishes and leave it there. And I got fed up, you know, and I told my son Matt, and Matt's like, Mom, why aren't you doing the dishes? And I'm like, Matt, I says, Dan is purposefully leaving dirty dishes, more dirty dishes from him to pile up for me to do. And Matt's like, Dan, why aren't you doing your own dishes? And Dan starts to say, well, Matt, I figured that, you know, since she don't pay this or that or this and that, I figured she can work it on. And Matt, thank the Lord he had my back. And he told him, he said, look, dude, that is my mother. She don't need to wash your effing dishes. You wash your own dishes. You're a grown-ass man. And don't you worry about my business between me and my mother. So he put him in his place. Mark's thinking all business, and Dan's thinking money, so that's where Dan has Mark right now. Money, money, money. Mark isn't seeing through what Dan is doing. And now, since water got shut off, well, it was only shut off for an hour, and I got it back on. And I'm paying my son back the money, like, by tomorrow or the day after. The money he's going to have back right away. But now, Dan has that hanging over my head. So he'll bring that up to Mark. See, this is the kind of stuff he does. Like, yesterday when the water got shut off, what does he do? He calls Mark immediately. Mark, you got the water shut off. Dude, I can't live like this. Blah, blah, blah. And then another time when the electric got shut off because of an accident and someone hitting a pole, and Dan thought that I didn't pay the electric bill, he called Matt, because it was way too late to call Mark. He called Matt, starting crap. It was springing Matt's ear. Man, dude, I can't live like this. She didn't pay the bill. Now the bill got shut off. Which it didn't. The electric, someone hit a pole. I probably told you this probably a few videos ago. But, this is the stuff that I have to live with every day. He wants me out of my own house that my son bought me. My son bought me that house, and now, no sooner did Dan go in, get in there and move in, he, within a week, not even a week, he had said, Liz, Mark and Ashley own this house, you don't. Red flag right there. You got into it. I told him straight out, dude, they bought this house for me. Don't you even start. So he's already planned on causing trouble for me, right there, from the beginning. From the beginning. He's been like that ever since. This is what I have to live with daily with him. Every day. Very rare do we get along. Do not think that I like this guy if we ever get along, because I don't. I don't like him. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. I watch my back with him. That's what I'm living with. That's what I'm living with. So, I'm tired of it. But I can't go nowhere. And part of me's like, I want to see him get out of there first before I would think of moving out of there. Just a kind of a running the finish line, something like that kind of thing. Like, hey, I should, kind of that. But you know what? I'm gonna leave it in God's hands and see. See where God leads me. Lord, I'd rather get rid of him. To have a house to myself. Well, it's not in the greatest area either. I'll just see, man. I haven't had time the last couple of days to finish up my Shopify because I don't have my room to myself where I have privacy now because my laptop's in my room and he's in there, and if I start to go on there and if he asks what I'm doing, if he has any hint of what I'm doing, he criticizes anything I do to make extra money, and it tells me I need to go work for someone. No, I'm working for myself, dude. No one but God will tell me what to do. Yeah. I just, he's very, he's a very miserable person. Very miserable. And he's making me miserable. But see, I gotta turn that around and enjoy laughing in his face and everything and just smile. So I'll have one. I don't do that for my mind. I just gotta catch him saying it and record it. I'll just have all of this stuff. Play it to my son. So he wakes up and sees what he's doing. And then I have to get up. So alrighty, well, I would get off here. Gotta go get something and then go to work. This is all I'm concerned about. I really don't think I'm going to tell you anything about money I made. I wanted to vent on here about what I'm going through with him. You guys have a great day. I know I will, because I'm not going to let this get my day down. I'm still going to push forward. I'm not going to let it stop me. So, he wants to distract me, stop me, whatever. Get me out of the way. I should have left him homeless in his van. I told them I did not want him moving in. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. And I told my son that yesterday. I'm like, this is what I have to live with every day. Because my son Matt said, he texted me, he's like, don't go and buy him beer anymore. And I'm like, agree. And he called me up, or I called him, and we were talking about it. I said, I don't want to go get him beer or nothing. I said, but he won't, he won't get his license or nothing. And he tries to bribe me with money to go get it. I said, I don't want to do that. I can't stand it because it's taken out of, I'm tired at the end of the night and I want to go home and rest. But no, he wants me to stop off and get a beer all the time and I'm sick of it. And if I don't, he will not let up and he'll bother me. So Matt's like, yeah, well, I'm going to have to talk with him. When I come in town, we're going to get that van up and running. He needs to take care of his own business. He shouldn't be putting this on you because that's not your responsibility. I says, exactly. I says, he needs to get up and get out.